Hello everybody, my name is Kurt Gielen. I'm a student at the Canfield Coaching. I've been enrolled in this program for a number of weeks now and have come to the end of session 1. And I'd like to give you an update on how this coaching has been going for me. First of all, I can say it has been life-changing. When I started this course, I felt like I reached the plateau. I was fairly successful already. I achieved a number of goals and hopes and dreams that I set out for myself. And I was at a stage where I realized that I needed to change things and do things differently in order to get to that next plateau. That's why I signed up for the coaching session, and the results have been phenomenal. In a small number of weeks, I have made some significant changes in my life that I know are going to get me to the next level, to help me achieve that next plateau, make sure that my next list and series of dreams and goals that I have now defined are going to be attained. One of the big changes that I've made because of this coaching is the fact that I now take 100% responsibility over my life. I now know that everything that I do in every area of my life is my responsibility, and it's up to me to make changes if things aren't going well, or if there are small or big things that I'm just not happy with. A second big thing which has been life-changing primarily on an emotional level is that I have learned to let go of guilt. As so many people probably, I for one was somebody who often told himself, oh, I should do this, I should do that, and I should have done this and I should have done that. And this coaching session with Lee Caldwell, my trainer, has taught me that there is no reason to shoot myself. Guilt is not a good advisory, just like fear, which is something that I already let go. However, letting go of guilt is as impactful of letting go as fear. A big impact and a big change was how we started with the course, and that we started with the long term and the big picture. And one of the first things that my coach and I worked on was to identify my purpose in life, and from there on identify 5, 10 and 20-year visions. My purpose in life is something that I always struggled with. I've written many purposes in life which never felt right, and one of the things that helped me to write down a purpose that does feel good and which I fully resonate with and feel good with is the fact that having a coach is critical in execution and focus and making things happen. And my coach told me that, the overall purpose that I've written down is pretty much spot on. Maybe the wording and the details might change a little bit, and that's okay. Just like everything else, you take decisions, you write down what feels right at this moment, and if in 6 months or 5 years from now I revisit that purpose and I feel that it's slightly off, then that's fine. I can go back and I can change it. So that has been a major breakthrough in that I now know why I'm doing things and where I want to take my life and why and what I want to do with my life. Having sorted out the long term, both the reasons why with defining my purpose and setting 5, 10, 20-year visions is made the short term a lot easier. I was always somebody who had too many goals, too many plans, in that I had so many that actually got in the way of executing and doing things. And by looking at the long term, one of the things that I've learned is that I can still have it all. I can still have all those dreams. I can still have all those goals. I just can't have them all at the same time. So I still kept all the goals. I'm now up to over 110 different goals in every area of my life. And the thing that I do differently now is that I now sequence them. I now prioritize those goals based on my purpose, based on my 5, 10, 20-year visions, and also based on what the things are that I want to do right now, and what are some of the things that I probably do better further down in the future. So sequencing goals, prioritizing, those are things that I do now that come from the long-term strategies and the long-term plans that we defined. Another thing that came from those long-term strategies was the fact that it's now so much easier to say no. I get bombarded with too much information, too much requests, too much projects, too many plans and ideas to deal with. And now that I know why I'm here, by having to find a really cool and clear purpose and having a long-term visions, it's easier for me to say yes or no every time something new comes into my life, whether it's a short email about a new coaching program, or whether it's about a project or a trip or anything that somebody comes to me. I can now look at it and go, does this serve my purpose? Is it in line with my purpose? Will it get me closer to my long-term goals, or even specific goals and plans that I have set out for the short term? If so, great, I'll do it, and I'll look at when I can do those, because I know I can't do it all at the same time. If it doesn't serve any of the above, then I will just slightly say, no, thank you, this is not for me. So that means that one of the things that I'm very happy with is that I can still have it all. I just can't have it all at the same time, as I said before. Another thing that I learned from the sessions with my coach is the impact on beliefs. Beliefs in many different ways impact our lives, and often, or if not always, are the originators of our actions and our dreams and the outcomes. One of the biggest changes around beliefs is that I've always been somebody who dreamt big. I've read the book, why dreaming big is so important, but for up until recently, I just didn't believe it. I wrote down that I wanted to make $16 million. I just didn't believe it. What has changed is that going through these coaching sessions, I learned that it's okay not to believe it, but that I can just as well pretend and act as if I believe it. And that's what I started doing. I started looking at all my big goals and asked myself the question, if I believe that this is gonna happen, then what would I do? And slowly, little by little, by acting in that way, I attracted people, ideas, information, anything that kind of confirmed that some of those goals, if not all, well probably all, are actually highly achievable. And slowly, little by little, piece by piece, that non-belief is falling away, and I can now clearly see that I actually believe some of those goals that I had so much problem believing with previously. And the other goals, I know that by continuing to pretend as if they are true, I know I will believe them in a very, very short frame as well. So all in all, a lot of great changes came from this sessions, or from these sessions with my coach. The most important one, which I think is critical to support and to work with all the previously mentioned ones, is focus and execution. By doing all of the hard work, by looking at the big picture, by giving up beliefs, making long-term plans, prioritizing and sequencing things, there's two things that are critically or essentially different in my life. And one is the fact that I am now able to focus on the project, on the goal, on the task in front of me. And I know that once that is done, I can move on to the next one. And linked with that is because I know so well what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And I know what the next goal is that I need to achieve. I got so much better at executing. And I now see that I'm achieving my goals and my dreams in a much faster way than ever before. So for all of that, I am very, very thankful for Jack Canfield and his coaching group and his team to have offered me this opportunity to take my life to the next level and I highly recommend that everybody who is ready to look at the next plateau or identify the next plateau and start taking the path to that next plateau to sign up for the coaching sessions, because they are truly, truly worth it. So thank again, Jack, and thank again, Lee, and thank again all the people at Jack Canfield Coaching. You have made a phenomenal impact in my life.